Sishinda. This is the MU Student Podcast. Here with me, I'm with my co-host,
Muma Ian, and here with us is the Minister of Local Government. Thank you very much for joining us.
I'm so excited.
So to start with, who is Lumpa at Mulungushi University?
At Mulungushi University? At Mulungushi University, Lumpa Kasongo is, by the grace of the Lord, a final year law student. The previous off-campus affairs minister, the current local government minister. Then I also have the privilege of being assistant to the director of research and students affairs, B4G, Born for Greatness Arts Association. Then I'm also currently the vice chairperson for Pevwe Zambia.
That's very much good. A lot to handle. Okay, that's right there, sir. What really inspired you to stand for local government?
There are a lot of things, but personally, I've always wanted to leave impact wherever I go. So I was here just like any other first year. And I would say there was influence of my close friends, secondary school close friends, who I found in cabinet leaders. And I learned a lot through them. I saw what they were doing. And I wanted to have the opportunity or the chance to do better. So I used to stay off campus in second year. I saw the challenges that were there. And for me, there were challenges or problems that could be solved. And I stepped in with the passion or the goal to leave impact and change.
Okay, so you stated that you were off-campus minister before this post.
Yes.
But what made you change from off-campus to local government minister?
I would say the relationship between the two ministries. So the problems that the off-campus students face are also interrelated to the Ministry of Local Government. Then the other thing is that when I was the Minister of Local Government, I would say I officially started, the campaign for a temporal police post across, the campaign for the flyover bridge that we want. But all of those duties fall under the Minister of Local Government, who is in charge of student security. So it was a state whereby I've begun a campaign. There are projects or there are problems I want to end, which were not in my ministry. So the only ministry that would allow me to continue with the same vision I had was the Ministry of Local Government. That's why I wouldn't go for any other ministry, because I had the vision and I had problems that I wanted to end. Hence me nominating for the Ministry of Local Government.
On the 20th of September 2025, you represented a ministerial budget at the Student Representative Council.
That's correct.
From the main gate to as far as the sabbatical area, there are no street lights. And from the small gate to Moot Court, there are no street lights. And other venues, like the F classes on the first floor, have no sockets. And that wasn't mentioned in your budget. Why?
Okay, first and foremost, I think this is a very good question. I'd like to explain this to all the students. So when it comes to our coffers, where we get the money to fund our budgets, that's student money. And that money has usually never been enough for all the ministries. So now my Ministry of Local Government is, I would say, 60% dependent on school projects. That's why the issue of buying sockets, buying streetlights is not the job of the Ministry of Local Government or the student union. The school is supposed to put streetlights in school. They are supposed to buy sockets. So it's my job to pressure them to provide those things. If I were to put streetlights in the budget, sockets in the budget, Ministry of Information won't be funded, Health Minister won't be funded, and that is a job for the school. That's why those things were not in my budget, not because I didn't think about them. I know almost every class and the problems they have. I would love to include them in my budget, but it's the job of the school. So they were not in my budget because the school has to supplement for those things.
But Minister, as students, we have put you as representatives. We can't go directly to the school. That's why we have you to represent us. We need sockets. We need street lights. How are you going to help us?
Okay, that's all right. So the thing with, or I would say the problem I've discovered, why we have rooms that have got sockets that are not yet fixed, I would say previously when I was Minister of Local Government, I learned that our Department of Purchasing and Supply used to buy materials per quarter. So meaning no matter the number of rooms that don't have sockets, they had their own time when they would buy those materials. So my agenda, which I would say has been successful, because through the Vice Chancellor, the new director, I would say the manager for purchasing and supply, is now buying material in advance. Like right now, the stores is fully stocked with both electrical appliances and also plumbing. I'm not just sure about carpentry, but for these two departments, we currently have enough material. So I think I've managed on that aspect to get the school to buy material in advance. The only thing that's left now is manpower. So the department of the resident engineers got very little manpower. You can imagine in a school like this, when you have like less than 5 electricians, which is not enough. So also had the privilege of presenting this to the Vice Chancellor. I requested that if the resident engineer could be given the opportunity to recruit employees, I would say casual workers temporarily, just for maintenance, and he agreed. So now it's my job to make a follow-up, because personally, I have a lot of pending issues. I recently had a meeting with the hostel representatives, and I've got a very good file of problems, and I've submitted them to the office of the resident engineer, but their manpower is limited. Hence, you feel like nothing is being done because the work rate is quite slow. So I'm currently trying to do my best to ensure that before this semester ends, they do a recruitment of a good number of casual workers. Now, my plan is that when they get these casual workers, I've also noticed that the reason you feel like maintenance is not being done in school is, for example, you report to me that you are in, let's say, Chipata room 10, there's a damaged socket. The electrician comes and does only the socket, goes out. There are still plumbing issues. There are still issues to do with carpentry. So my plan is that when they do this recruitment, you can send, let's say, 4 workers to one hostel, or I would say 3. You send a plumber, you send an electrician, you send a carpenter. So those 3 people are going to enter that hostel and tackle all the maintenance issues. By the time they come out, I'll fully say Chipata is handled and everything will be done. So I'm trying to fix this in the system, or how the maintenance team has been working. If it will be successful by the end of this semester, I think would say maintenance issues 90% done, because every hostel will be catered for completely.
So your timeline is the end of this semester?
Yes.
Less manpower?
Yes,
We
very
have
little manpower.
very few engineers in school.
No, the department has got very few electricians.
But why can't we use the students?
The issue is that I presented that issue before the semester ended. I personally wanted a lot of engineers to remain in school. The problem was with how technical things are. It's easier for the school to bill an employee than a person on internship. If an employee at least maybe causes a spark, the hostel is bent, it's easier to employ such a person. But it's difficult for someone doing internship. That was the major setback I had. So I had the list of students that told me they want to do internship in school, and I kept on fighting it. But that was like the major blow I had with management. It was about what may go wrong and how they can now handle the situation, because it's not an external person, it's actually a student. But this person has damaged the whole lot of Kawe hostel, and the damage repairing is costing about 150,000. How does the school bill you, the actual student, who they're trying to help with internship? So they would rather trust an external person or handle it better with an external person than a student. Yes.
If there's limited manpower.
Yes.
So they need a small number at least.
Yeah, they do need a small number, but they also need an experienced number, looking at how serious the thing is.
So you're saying the management doesn't trust the engineers they are producing, because if they do, they would have let them at least. Because you can't tell me a 4th year can't handle electricity, can't put cables in place. So what do you mean by that?
If you say management does not trust, that would mean there is no student that has done internship in school. But we have a lot of students that have done internship in school. The thing is, when you're handling such a big institution, you just can't have 70% of people that are doing internship. The students doing internship have to be the minority. So you need more experts than only students to supplement. So if you tell me the students that we have are not enough, that I would understand. Not that management does not trust our students. It does, but you need more experts than students doing internship.
Okay.
Yes.
So I have another question.
Please ask.
This issue that has been, we've been living in it. I can say since I came here, I've been living in it. So a lot of students have been complaining about the issue of network, which is Airtel, MTN, Zamtel, that the network has been pathetic. What measures are you taking as a student union upon this issue?
I think we've taken a lot of measures, and allow me to use this opportunity to announce the results. So currently in campus, we have Kinetic Solutions. It's a company under Zamren, and they're here to put fiber network. So each hostel is going to have an access point for fiber. I think on this side, Luampa will be the first. So after 4 hostels, another hostel will have a cabin for fiber network. Then each hostel will have access points. So on the issue of network in school, we currently have a company, Kinetic Solutions. You'll be seeing, they're actually here every day, even on the weekends. Yesterday, I left them near Machidi Hostel. So in school, network is catered for. And across, again, I would love to announce this. Construction for network towers began. I don't know if you know, but they've begun. Behind Wallace's complex. I think this weekend you may see a video of the union and other people celebrating. But they've already done the groundwork. I think the next step will be foundation.
When should we expect the project to be complete?
For Kinetic Solutions, it's 6 weeks. For the Kinetic Solutions, the company working in school.
6 weeks from now.
6 weeks from now. 6 weeks from this Saturday. From this Saturday.
Okay.
Yes, that's 6 weeks. For the network tower, I think after the meeting on Tuesday or Wednesday, I'll be able to give you enough information once I talk to the project manager. I need to know. That thing I would like to ask the students. One thing I would like to say in this podcast is that the people that make a union strong are the students, or the people that put that union into power. I see a lot of criticism on Facebook. People think that's helping. It's not. It makes the union look weak. If people on social media defend the cabinet, defend the union, defend ministers, you make our word strong. You give us more authority even as we approach offices. But the more you criticize us, it also downgrades whatever we do that's good. I would say something like this to say, no, we currently have a company in school, Kinetic Solutions, working on fiber network. Trust me, you won't see any post from a student saying thank you. But you always see criticism. So that is a bad thing.
Do you really
that's a bad thing.
The
We do
students that,
updates.
no, we're doing this.
We do updates, but shares, shares matter. Some students don't even share memos from the student union, but they'll share a post against me to say, no, he has put his face on a memo. That went viral. Before I even posted it, it was everywhere. He has put his face on a memo. Not the contents of the memo. You see how dangerous that is. So it's a two-way thing. There must be students defending a union. It's okay to criticize. I've never had a problem with criticism. But you guys also have to defend.
But are there issues that you're working on because of the criticism?
On the criticism, I can't say much. That depends on the Minister of Information. He's in charge of information and he's controlling the media. So I may not answer a lot of questions on his part. Personally, I love criticism. I love reading negative comments because, sometimes in this world, I'll give you this advice. People don't tell you what you need to hear. People will rarely give you encouragement. But you can learn something from the majority of negative comments. So I do read negative comments and I learn something. And I'll be able, you actually get ideas. This is a problem, let me defend in this way.
That was my question, actually. Are there problems that you're working on in school due to the criticism that you saw maybe on social media?
I think you may see an official Mulungushi Student Union page, official, like ours, that will have trusted information to the outside world. That is one part of the Minister of Information and Minister of Local Government. So I know he has a lot of things in store, but he will be the best person to give you the answers.
Okay, so back to the network problem.
Yes.
So since they stepped into school, the Kinetic
Solutions, yes.
Since they stepped into school, has there been any improvement? Maybe other hostels, you said you met them down school. Has there been any improvement?
No, they're not yet done. Right now, they're just digging and putting cables. Once they put cables, they'll put cabins in hostels. Then they'll connect them to access points for each hostel.
That's for all 4 networks?
No, that's for internet connection. So hostels are actually going to have Wi-Fi in school. Majority of hostels are going to have Wi-Fi in school.
Okay.
That's not for internet. On the part of, let's say, phone calls, MTN, Airtel, and Zamtel, personally, I'm disappointed in the network system. And also, it's a problem I'm facing because I'm in charge of student security. And how you access the internet and phone calls plays a major role in security. I've had students that have been sick. Maybe you've been, like, someone is critically ill, but they can't contact anyone.
True.
And someone can die. It's by God's grace we haven't lost any student due to such a problem. But we have, like, issues with Airtel. And I know the thing that happens when you say emergency, that means the network tower is down. There's no power. But normally, according to the experience I have with the network system, if there is no power, a genset has to be on for that particular network tower. So those guys have actually been lazy in ensuring that whenever there is no power, the genset is on to give us network.
And what are you doing about it?
Personally, I think Tuesday I have an appointment with Airtel to discuss the issue. But I would like to lobby for the student support on this. In case they don't hear us or they give us promises, we need the students to stand with us and demand change. You know, I've been to a lot of offices, but if what I present in that office is not what you guys are posting on social media, it makes my presentation there or submission there weak. So let's be united. Let the students and the union be united. Take for example, I say we are tired of Airtel network. Let's break a few SIM cards. Let's unite and do such a thing. And that will show them that we're actually serious and we're not comfortable with the network system. You support me. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
So, talking about the weakness of the union, what powers do the union have to push the management, working on these issues, these certain issues like network, power,
What limits our power are the people we represent. That's the thing. The power of a student union is not limited, but the support limits the power. So I don't want to mention universities and how the unions are doing good, but trust me, whenever that student union goes to the State House, do they go alone? Do they speak alone? It's the support that makes them strong.
Yeah.
I don't want to mention a particular UNZA president who declared the holiday, and there was an actual holiday. But if something like that happened here, 60% of people will go for class. President will receive expulsion. So it's the support that determines the strength of cabinet. We're not limited by anything. But you guys, the support you give us is what limits what we can do.
So when you go out for school projects, meetings with Airtel, why don't you involve the media, the school media? Don't you involve them? Maybe even the criticism on social media would lessen if you involve them, because they'll be able to transmit the information to the students. So why?
I think that's a good suggestion. Going forward, I think we'll be inviting the school media team. But it's limited. For example, if we're meeting the permanent secretary, before you enter his office, his secretary will get all your phones. So they have a media team that only posts what they allow. So there are some offices that we cannot take a media team. But maybe after that meeting, yes, even after meeting the PS, yes, we can have a media team to help us share that information. So that's a good suggestion. I'll be able to table it down in front of the Minister of Information and also the Prime Minister and our President respectively. But when we go to these meetings, let us carry at least a good number of media personnel to help us circulate the information. That's a good suggestion. I've taken note. Sure. The work you are doing, I love the setup. So I think as we go to Airtel, I'd like to invite you guys. I would also love to invite you to the site for the network tower. And I also want to talk about the projects we're having that side. So if you guys can follow, let's do some work together, especially in the course of next week. I think together we can control the media, we can control the criticism, because we're going to have a legitimate source of information. Therefore, we're going to separate between critics and reliable information. So let's work together. You guys are doing a very good job. Huh? Sure. Yes.
Thank you very much. So we recently had, when we were opening this semester, we recently had suicide cases, as the union, doing about it.
I think personally, as the minister in charge of security, what happened in the first 2 weeks was really saddening for me and heartbreaking. I would say I was even traumatized because I was at the site of our late brother. I was there, and that's like one of the things you would never want to see in life. It was really sad. So we actually start with management, we start with VC, and on management side and the interaction we had, first and foremost, when it comes to suicide, it's usually more of a mental problem. And the thing is this, each hostel has got a hostel representative that is also looked after by hall wardens. So those people usually just handle issues, no maintenance. So we resolved as management to say in future, let's have hostel representatives do a special training in relation to mental health and counseling. So meaning they won't just be limited to just hearing complaints. They will also have like the information or the skills to advise someone. So hostel representatives and hall wardens will have those skills in future. I can't give you an exact date, but it was resolved in the meeting with VC that hostel representatives and hall wardens should undergo a special training so that at the ground level, you are able to talk to the students and advise. Personally, I also gave an option of a suicide line. This was something I learned while researching on how other countries address the suicide problem. So in America, they have what they call a suicide line. It's a number that anyone can call, and you talk to someone you don't know, who won't ask who you are, but you'll be able to give them your problems. You'll be able to explain what you're going through, and they'll just give you free advice because they don't know you. So they'll just give you free advice. And we presented that issue with UNESCO, and UNESCO has got a program under that. But they told us they're doing some maintenance issues. They actually already have an application. So once it's done, personally, me and the Minister of Gender and Information are going to work with UNESCO to ensure that we advertise that platform, and there will be a line which students can call and talk to. Because majority of students that commit suicide are usually introverts, people that don't express themselves. But even if you don't express yourself and you know there's a number that you can just call, that no one knows who you are and express yourself, it would really help. Yes.
So thank you very much. We've come to the end of the show. Thank you very much, Honorable Kasomo, for joining us.
It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure. Yeah. Invite me again, huh?
You'll come.
I'm waiting.
Are you sure?
Yes, as long as it's before the exam.
When are the exams?
Minister of Education will be able to advise. Me, I'm a senior student.
All right. So it's been MU Podcast. Thank you for watching, and make sure you subscribe. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, everywhere. Follow us everywhere, on Twitter, on Facebook, WhatsApp. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.